inhabitants of the World Wide Web, how's life? So, this happened in chapter 1, part 1. 3 days of detention, 2 of them being full-day detentions. Surely her comment hadn't been that bad. Snape took pride in making people suffer. Why should her comment affect him? Still, she did feel bad. And this is what's happening now. If you didn't see last week's, then I was just going to watch it because you won't know what the hell's going on in this part. Though I'm not expecting much, to be truthful. The first part wasn't that exciting. The second part, I don't know. She sighed and looked around the empty common room. She let her thoughts wander and bit her lower lip as they rested on her favourite and most hated subject, Snape. For all the things she hated about him, there was something she loved about him. His eyes, so cold and deep, they sent shivers down her spine. But they don't for me, love. His skin was pale, smooth and silky. She remembered his touch from the 3rd year when he stood in front of her to protect her from Professor Lupin when he had transformed into a werewolf. And his voice? God, his voice. She was sure he would ensnare any woman with voice. But out of all the things she liked the most, she loved his dominating ways. She often wondered what it would be like. I don't even want to finish his sentence. She wondered what it would feel like to be pinned under him, completely at his mercy. I don't even have anything to comment on that. Just, wow, okay. I didn't think there was going to be any adult content in this first chapter, but by the looks of it, there will be. Yay! Professor Snape sat in his classroom watching the students work. He had to admit, Granger had made a very humorous comment. He didn't think she had it in her. He knew he didn't have the greatest personality, but he liked how it was. He didn't need anyone around him. Still, the long, cold nights proved lonely, and the only comfort he had was his fire whiskey. Damn, he loved fire whiskey. Damn, he loved fire whiskey! Hermione's comment had made him smile for the first time in a long time. For the first time in forever. He was a bitter man at the young age of 32. He hadn't been with a woman in nearly 6 years, and that didn't help much either. Still, he knew the only reason why he was so hard on Hermione was because she had so much potential. He had no doubt in his mind that, at her graduation, she would accept his offer of letting her become his apprentice. He knew she wanted to be a potions mistress, and who better to teach her than him? He longed to show her the works in his private collection. But he did. Potions that would challenge her, really challenge her. He wondered how much she hated him at the moment. See, now, here's the thing with the Darkest Desire. She repeats stuff a lot. So for example, right, potions that would really challenge her. Really challenge her. You don't need the second challenge her. It's fine, we get the emphasis. We don't need the really challenge her. Or the, he loved his fire whiskey. God damn, he loved his fire whiskey. We don't need that. Okay, you're just making this process long and awkward. Stop now. Thank you. He looked around the class, disinterested, and decided to find out. He muttered a spell that would allow him to see him into a person's thoughts and urged his mind to find hers. What he found inside her mind wasn't what he expected. I'm getting angry again now. I can feel it happening. So he is basically turning into a stalker. Let's just sit back and think about that for a moment, shall we? Severus Snape is turning into a stalker. How bloody lovely. Let's just say I wouldn't want him to be my potions teacher. But he died. Ooh. If you're gonna make fanfiction, come on, really? Nah. I mean, there's like an unspoken rule with fanfiction. You can't really change what has already been written. In my opinion anyway. So like, you can't have this story, for me, is just really impossible because Snape died, and because Queen Rowling wrote that, you can't change that. He died, there is no escaping that. Because Harry named one of his sons after him. Well, the name was in the name, and yeah. So I'm pretty sure that if Harry found out that Snape and Hermione were having it off, he wouldn't have had Severus's name in the middle of one of his children's names. I'm sorry, but he wouldn't. So now you're changing facts, and that is Not acceptable! Not acceptable! Okay, fanfiction, just calm down. Hermione's mind wandered aimlessly for a moment before locking onto its common task. Fantasizing about Professor Snape. It's getting worse. In her mind, she arrived for detention. The dungeon was cold and barren, no one around, save her and Snape. He locked the door and she came in, set his eyes on her. Okay, I'm gonna start paraphrasing things now. Let's just say they start making out on a wall, hungrily, if we're gonna take quotes. The bell rang loudly in Professor Snape's classroom and jerked him out of Hermione's thoughts. He watched the students filed out, leaving their potions behind for him to grade. He closed his eyes, trying to calm down. Basically, he needs to calm down. I really want to go back to cupcakes. I'm sorry, but I do. It was the end of the day and he had nothing left to do but mark papers, eat dinner, mark papers, and make Hermione suffer detention. But what he had saw in Hermione's mind made him think. She was of age, he was sure of that. She was a virgin, he was definitely sure of that. And she was infatuated with him, he was sure of that as well. We know he was sure of things. Why not just say she was of age and that she was a virgin and then have the whole he was sure of that thing? Because really, come on. Oh, shoot me now. Shoot me now. But what to do about it? Don't do anything about it. Just be a normal teacher. Keep the teacher relationship and the student relationship with each other nice and professional, like you're meant to, because this is weird. There are no rules against student-teacher relations. No, but it's ethically wrong. And morally. I mean, think of the worst teacher you've ever had in your secondary school, right? Now imagine things happening between you and them. Arrest my case. It was better not to participate in them, so your morals and ethics weren't called to question. But he had never been one to care about what others thought. Clearly not. He let a devilish smirk grace his face. Grace his face? My apologies. So, she liked being dominated, did she? I don't know. Don't care. She wanted to be ravished by a man, not a boy. He could do that. Oh yes, he could do that. She would have to earn it and want it more than anything else. He needed her to be begging him. Yes, that would be bliss. I'm just gonna read ahead. Don't mind me. Okay, so in a paraphrase, because there's a lot of things that I don't want to say. Okay, so basically, right, he is now fantasizing about it. Yeah, so he is now thinking about her in more ways than one. And now he's planning it. He's planning it. Oh. His anger flared when he thought of another man even attempting to touch her. He was a Slytherin, after all, and Slytherins always get what they want. But how could he make her reveal her true feelings? A knock at the door brought him out of his musings. Enter, he announced in his usual cool voice. Headmaster Dumbledore walked into a room with a pleasant smile on his face. Don't tell me he's getting in on this too. Jesus, that would be... He's over 100. You can't do that. Oh god, but that is someone's OTP. Dumbledore and Hermione. Oh, that is wrong. That is... I'm gonna leave it there, guys, because I'm getting angrier and angrier as this is going on. Chapter 1, Part 3, coming next week. Good luck trying to get all this out your mind, because I will need it. God.